Hello vinyl community, welcome to my latest video, Gav Axeman Spins. So this one is a vinyl finds video, the first one I've done actually since I started the channel. So this is some stuff I've picked up from the end of April through to where we are now, mid-May. I had a little bit of holiday, the sun's finally come out in the UK, so I've been fortunate enough to find a couple of things. So without further ado, let's go through them. So the only new album I bought this month has just come through the door. I've given it a clean, and this is a beautiful bit of vinyl. Look at that. That's white and black spatter, and that's the Death Cult, which is the kind of in-between stages of the band that we started as Southern Death Cults, ended up as the Cults, and in between for a couple of singles were known as Death Cults. So that's just come out. That's the only new one I bought. Couldn't resist the white and black splatter, and it also as a beautiful bit of vinyl. It also, from a completist point of view, it fills that gap now on the vinyl discography front. Got the CD which came out many years ago, but that's the first time that stuff's been compiled on vinyl. So looking forward to listening to that. So that's cleaned up beautifully. I have done quite well on the bargain front, so I'll go through that. So the first four records I'm about to show now are from White Rabbit Records in Shrewsbury. Hello Russ, if you're watching. And he has a little bargain section right at the front of the market stall. I always have a flick through, sometimes find things, sometimes don't, but spotted this one up first. So this was Mr. Anybody remember them, fans of the 80s? Broken Rings and Kiri, a couple of good songs there. So that was in the 4 for 10. So you find one, you start having a little look-see. What caught my eye right at the back were a couple of albums by UFO. The sleeves are a little bit worse for wear, but everything I bought from that stall in the past has always been fine, and I know he wouldn't put out damaged records. So this one, Fawcett, is a UK first press, because it's got no text around the rim according to Discogs, and that's a 50-year-old record, so I'm well pleased with that. Gave that a clean, and it sounded absolutely fantastic. It's a really good album as well. So that's Michael Schenker on guitar on that one. So really pleased to find UFO's Fawcett with the Hypnosis sleeve, and also in the 4 for 10 was this one, which is No Heavy Petting, and again that's a first press. So yeah, so really pleased to get a couple of UFO albums for the collection. Building those up quite well now, actually. I don't think there's many I'll need. And then, because you're looking for 4 for 10, the last one I took a bit of a punt on, a band called Styx, The Grand Illusion. So from what I know, that's supposedly their best album. Again, that's a UK first press, so effectively that was £2.50 as well. So have a listen to that later. So that was Shrewsbury, and then last weekend I was in Newport in Shropshire. And I have been going to a record shop called Jews Records for, crikey, 15, 20 years, long old time. And to my horror, when I got there, it had closing down sale. And I thought, oh, what a shame. So went in and had a chat with the new owner, who's a man who'd retired a few years ago. And everything in his shop that used to be in an upstairs room that I've frequented occasionally and had a good look through. Normally you pull things out for £4. All of the upstairs stock had been brought downstairs, and everything was £2. Glad to say he isn't closing down, he's relocating. So he's effectively got to go into slightly smaller premises, still in the market in Newport, but it won't be in quite such a big store as such, and everything was £2. So obviously, an hour and a half later, this is what I came out with. I have to have a good dig. Some good stuff in there, some not so good stuff in there. But again, it's a shop I've been going through for many years, so I kind of trust that everything in there will be okay. And at £2, you can't go wrong. So I ended up with 18 albums, and because I bought quite a few, he did them for £30. So I think they came out at £1.62 a record. So here you go. So for all those who think you can't find cheap vinyl, first four were £2.50. These like are £1.62 each. So the first thing I spotted when I was looking through was this, which is my first ever classical album I bought, and this is Holst the Planets. You'll all know the music from that one, but I was slightly inspired by a channel and a chap called David Atkinson, who's got a YouTube channel I've been watching for many years, and it's, I think it was David Atkinson Life Matters, and many years ago he did a guide to some classical music, and that's something I know basically nothing about. And I kind of scribbled down what he'd suggested, and via the magic of Spotify, I played him in the car when I was going to and from work, and that one stuck with me. So for £1.62, David, there you go. That's all your fault. Hopefully it's a good one. Vinyl's absolutely immaculate. It's on the Classics for Pleasure label, so it's worth a punting at £1.62. So pleased to add that into the listening pile. Another good one, Bryan Ferry. This is, I think, was his last solo album before he reformed Roxy Music for Manifesto. This is the Bride Strip Band, and again, I've got this one on CD. It's a really good album, and a nice song called Carrot Fergus on there. I think is the one I remember. But nice gatefold. Bryan Ferry's packaging always very good. But again, £1.62. Can't go on with that, can you? As we're in the Midlands, if you're in a second-hand record shop, you're always going to find something by the Moody Blues. So this is from 1981, Long Distance Voyager. Again, another nice gatefold. One of the few Moody Blues albums I hadn't got, so took a punt on that one from 1981. And while on the Moody's, I also picked up a nice compilation, Voices in the Sky. It's a bit of a banger, actually. Ride My Seesaw. The Voice, Question, that's a great song, isn't it? And of course, finishes with Nights in White Satin. So I haven't got any best of by the Moody Blues. I've got pretty much all the studio albums, I think, but that's a really good find, so pleased with that. And I seem to be, whenever I'm out in record stores at the moment, I keep finding Joe Jackson albums, so here's another one. So this looks a bit interesting. This is Jumpin' Jive. I think it's kind of a jazz album of some description, so I'll give that a go. But what I liked about that, it's a gold promo, so gold stamped. So there you go, with a promo album that's nestling in the woods. The next one I'm going to show you, this is the very first vinyl single I ever bought was Centerfold by the J. Giles Band, and I always wanted the album. Never ever got round to buying it, and it's called Freeze Frame, and finally the album with Centerfold on it, which is another great 80s kind of pop song, has turned up. So there you go, £1.62. 40 years later I finally got hold of a copy of the J. Giles Band, and even better than that, I also found the best of the J. Giles Band. So know nothing about anything other than Centerfold, so this will be good to listen to. What I liked about this one, when I took it out and give it a clean, it's on a yellow Atlantic label. So got quite a few Atlantics. I've had them on red and grey and orange. I don't think I've ever had a yellow one, so that was something a bit different. So yeah, so a bit of J. Giles Band homework for me to catch up on. Obviously sticking with the Midlands, Nottingham, yeah, not that far away. And I had to get this one, Clannad, Robin Hood. Album's called Legend, but it's all music from Robin the Hooded Man, which was an 80s TV show. I have a soft spot for Clannad. If you were around in the 80s, there was a TV show called Harry's Game, which was about an agent that infiltrated the IRA, and Clannad did the title music, and it was called Theme from Harry's Game. But as a U2 fan, if you watch the Under a Blood Red Sky live video, that's the music they use as the kind of build-up to the actual concert when it's tipping it down and they're not sure if it's going to go on. Very atmospheric. But if I spot any Clannad albums, I always get them, so pleased to get the Hooded Man. My wife quite likes him as well, I think. So yeah, so that's a good one. £1.62, what a bargain. And the first, so we've had David Atkinson inspired me. So this one, when I spotted it, I thought of PC31, The Vinyl Policeman, because when he did his 5 albums for people that you love, like, get along with that one, he picked this one out, which was his mum's, which is Neil Diamond's 12 greatest hits. Obviously, this is his copy. This is one I found. But I had basically, I think I got one Neil Diamond album knocking around, and it was a gap in my collection. And I'd commented on his video that if I spotted this album, I'd pick it up. So £1.62, all mine. Track listing, here we go. Sweet Caroline, Crackling Rosie, I Am, I Said. Can't go on with that, can you? So pleased with that one. Another greatest hits. Who Wants an Hour of Donovan? Oh, I do. So yeah, so these, I've got a few of these Hour records that I think they're the Pie label. I've got an Isaac Hayes one, a band called Man from Wales, and although there's an hour of music crammed on the vinyl, these are all really good. So this is a load of 20 tracks from the Pie years by Donovan. Catch the Winds on there, good song, isn't it, that? This one may be of interest from a fellow YouTuber from Solihull, the 6-inch, and I'll be very careful how I say this, the 6-inch pianist. And this is a Temptations album, Greatest Hits Volume 2, and this one is actually on the Gordy label. And I'm going to sound very Northern Soul-y and like I know what I'm talking about now. But this is an American press, so that's rather nice, isn't it? So yeah, so Gordy, and it actually comes with a kind of sending to get all kinds of goodies. And it was, I only twigged it was an American press when I realised you've got to send it to Los Angeles to get the stuff. So do you think that they'd still honour that? So I can get all kinds of Motown goodies. But love the Temptations, and this is what you'd call their psychedelic soul phase. So the track listing again is brilliant. You know, opening track Cloud 9. I wish it would rain, Ball of Confusion. I Know I'm Losing You, which is obviously Rod Stewart did a cover of that. Great song, Psychedelic Shack. So yeah, so pleased with that one. The Temptations. So that's for John over in Solihull. Sticking on the greatest hits. It's on the Verve label. This is I've got the CD. This is another great album, the Righteous Brothers. Unchained Melody, the very best of. You know, track 1, You've Lost That Love in Feeling. Track 2, Unchained Melody. Can't really go wrong with that one, can you? So £1.62. That's a nice best of to put on late at night and chill out to. And an absolute banger of a best of now. Roy Orbison, the legendary Roy Orbison. Oh Pretty Woman, Only the Lonely. In Dreams, Blue Bayou, Dream Baby, Running Scared, Grab Tender. Wow, it's over at the end. So pleased to find that one for £1.62. What a bargain. And do we want the Beach Boys Best of Volume 2? Of course you do, because I've got Volume 1, so I'm really pleased to get Volume 2. And last 2 tracks on this, Wouldn't It Be Nice and Good Vibrations. So despite a slightly dodgy sleeve, you know, got Volume 1, so Volume 2 now joins the party. Pleased with that. Another great best of, so America, with A Horse With No Name is the opening track on this best of America's Greatest Hits, which always I always think it's Neil Young, but I love that song. So for £1.62, I wasn't going to leave that behind. And here's one. Now this one I see in second-hand record shops all the time, and I've seen it for £5, for £4, for £3, £2, and now it was £2, but it ended up at £1.62. So my mum and dad all recognise this one. This was they played this a lot when I was at home. So this isn't their copy. This is a nice laminate one actually. But there's it's a good album. This album, it's got a great voice. But there's a song on here called Lilac Wine that Jeff Buckley did in the 90s. And I'm going to say it, I actually think the Alky Books version's better. So I finally relented, and yeah, I am now mirroring my mum and dad's musical taste, so dear. But yeah, it's a good album, great voice as well. And there is a link to the next one. So Alky Books in a band called Vinegar Joe, and that was also co-vocalist was Robert Palmer. This is an album called Secrets. Track 1 on this is Bad Case of Loving You, Doctor Doctor. I think most of us will know that one. But I was reading a biography on John Martin, the Irish folk singer, and I think Robert Palmer treated him quite well and used him as backing band when he was in a bit of financial difficulties and helped him out. So I thought, I haven't got any Robert Palmer outside of the power station, so we'll give that a go. And finally, as we've hit the 15-minute mark, the best of the bunch, or is it the worst of the bunch? In my defence for picking this one, it was £1.62. I have every studio album by this band up to this one. And then in 1988, the Mighty Quo did I Ain't Complaining, and I've never bought it, never listened to it. But as I've got all the others for £1.62, I thought, well, if I'm doing a ranking video, I've got something to put in last, haven't I? So there you go. So the Mighty Quo have turned up finally. A long time on, so I'll listen to it. Will it be as bad as I fear? Probably, but you know, you can't knock it, can you? So that was 18 albums for 30 quid, £1.62, 4 for a tenner. So just shows you the bargains are out there if you shop around. So all it leaves me to say really is thank you for watching. Big thank you to anyone who has subscribed. Does help small channels like this one kind of grow and get beamed around the YouTube algorithm. There's been lots of comments as well, so thank you very much. All those are the comments. I do reply to all the comments. Very interesting because you get some different points of view and some good little nuggets. Apparently I look like the singer from The Beat. People keep telling me about 2 comments that, so there you go. So I've got a doppelganger out there, so thank you for those that have liked, subscribed, made comments, and if you are watching this, it's free, costs you nothing to do that, so it would be much appreciated if you do that. But until the next one, thank you very much, and I'll see you again hopefully. Bye bye.